Can brothers hear me? Can brothers hear me? Can brothers hear me? If anybody can hear me, let me know.
Can brothers hear me?
Okay, I can hear myself. Yeah, Salaki about that. I was having some technical difficulties. If anybody can hear me, just put a one. Okay, kind. Yeah, Salaki about that, bro. The water. So yeah, like I said, I was looking for a book within my small little library with some information and whatnot, and so that's why I started out a little late. But anyway, the water to you brothers that tuned in. Well, first of all, I want to start off by giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kodash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders, a great millstone for teaching us this word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, I'm the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson was inspired by a video Elder Apostle Gabar did this morning on the same topic, speaking about some of the detestable things that were done to our people in chattel slavery in regards to so-called punishments. And in this video, he had mentioned a good title for a lesson is called Never Forget, and that was inspired by Apostle Tahar's video series, and then Appalling Slave Punishments. So I used the chat GTP to pull some stuff up, and I pulled some images up. I have a video, and I got a book here. I have tons of books on slavery. I haven't read every book. I probably read a portion of it, but the point of the matter is, it's got a lot of extensive information. And if any of the brothers want to join in, I'll post the link up to the video. If any elder brothers or brothers, sincere brothers that is doing this work want to join, give me a quick second. I'll post the link, and you can tap in. You know what I'm saying? So give me a quick second as I post this link. See, I posted the link, so just copy and paste the link, and you can get in. So anyway, the title of this lesson is Never Forget Appalling Slave Punishments. And what this man has done to our people. When I say this man, I'm talking about the so-called white man, right? Starting off with the super elite, right? All the way down to the least of these Edomites. When they had the opportunity to destroy our people, they did such a thing, right? And they didn't mince words, they didn't mince feelings. It wasn't wrapped up in emotions. Our life was considered nothing. There was a term they call it 3/5 of a man. That's what they said. One of you brothers can put the definition of 3/5 of a man on a comment board, and that's what they regarded the so-called Negro here in America. But guess what? The so-called Native American life wasn't worth or valued anything to the so-called white man either, but especially the tribe of Judah. I had this image of this Israelite man right here, who was a so-called former slave. He's taking a picture with a bell collar on his head, right? And that collar was for punishment, right? Whether the brother might have tried to run away, or whether he didn't pull enough in from work. Esau put this contraption on this man, and I guess this was after antebellum slavery or whatnot. Then they were taking pictures, and they wanted somebody to model this, so they used this brother to do it. And this is this right here, this thing, this collar right here, this is inhumane in every sense and form of the word. Inhumane, right? It's extremely inhumane, right? It prevented him from resting, right? I believe it also prevented him from sitting, because he has like an iron shackle on his leg. Let me see if I can get the rest of this, right? Let's go visit this page real quick. It says photo of a slave wearing collar device from Ken Burns documentary. It says, I've been researching the domestic slave trade. It is not as well documented as the transatlantic slave trade. It says black, but it was Israelite. Millions of Israelites slaves were moved from the north to the south Yet there is very little with regard to the mapping of the movements of the human beings. Virginia has recently mapped out a slave trail that led to the river, but we know that much of the travel was overland. Coffles of slaves were shackled to one another and walked from north to south. Yep. So the slaves, so that, yeah, I mean, you Edomites gonna fucking pay. So you telling me you had Jake walking from Massachusetts all the way to South Carolina? You had Jake walking from Massachusetts to Virginia, from New York to Virginia, from Philadelphia to Virginia, and Philadelphia was definitely a slave city because it's also a port city, right? Anyway, you have to admit South Carolina has style. The slave markets look quite striking. You hear that? The slave markets look quite striking, right? It says from the National Park Service during the antebellum period, Charleston served as a center of commercial activity for the South's plantation economy, which depended heavily upon slaves as a source of labor, right? Customarily in Charleston, slaves were sold on the north side of the exchange building, then the customs house. In 1856, city ordinance prohibited this practice of public sales, resulting in a number of sales rooms, yards. So they took it from outside and they took it in and try to make it private. And it says yards and marts along Chalmers State and Queen Streets. One of these belonged to Thomas Ryan, an alderman and former sheriff. Ryan's mart, now the old slave mart, occupied the land, and these weren't elite banking families. You had them in there, the elite, they pumped it up, but these were nothing more than their proxies, right? And in the elite banking families, they had slaves too. But these people in America, these will be your semi-quasi-rich, average, everyday Edomites, man. So it says the building's 4-story brick tenement building with offices in a barracoon, slave jail in Portuguese, barracoon, slave jail in Portuguese, where slaves were held before cells, a kitchen and a morgue. Before the construction of the shed, cells were held in a tenement building or in the yard. Another auction master, Z.B. Oakes, purchased the property in 1859, applied to permits and bricks. I was trying to look for information. Oh, here it is right here. This says right here, wow, that's amazing. He was quite eloquent in his own way. The mental image I have is someone sitting down and just smarted off being snatched up to standing position from behind by a collar. It says, let me see. Okay, let me read this. It is time shows off the beauty of slavery. Wow. Shows off the beauty of slavery. Listen to this. I know that this is an old thread, but I wanted to post my great-grandfather wrote about this device. He was in the 12th CT volume infantry, the first regiment to occupy New Orleans after it was captured. On June 9th, he wrote from Camp Parklet, Louisiana. The other day, a slave came into the camp that had come from 60 miles down the river. He had a large hay knife to protect himself. He had one of those iron collars around his neck with 3 long pieces riveted on, running straight up by his head so that he could not turn his head. And that's torture, bro. It was one of those arrangements that shows off the beauty of slavery. You hear that? And this is this Edomite's mind, a grandfather. The beauty of slavery, right? This makes the second one that our blacksmiths have taken off. The first one was taken off a woman. Only think virtue of having our children with such ornaments on. Wow. And they claim the right to do whatever the devil puts them up to. And it's time they was brought up standing with a round turn. I don't know what that means. He often wrote tongue in cheek, so there was a laughter, as he does here saying, shows off the beauty of slavery. His letters totaling 160 from March 1862 to 1864, just 4 days before he was killed in battle. It's time they Okay. Anyway, it says he was born in England and came here with his family when he was 10 years old. He has some expressions that probably had English origins. The meaning, I think, is much as you assume. Blah 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 blah. It says, I am so happy to see this thread. My husband purchased the collar shown below about 25 to 28 years ago. They still selling slave merchandise, man. It's fucking crazy. While the image first shows in the thread has 3 prongs, and the more recent conversation also refers to 3 prongs, the collar we have has 4 prongs. One working bell remains attached. My husband told me it was real along with some of the other shackle restraints, and that it was used for the runners. So if you ran away, they put one of these on your neck. Sadly, I have not been able to locate a receipt of any type. I'm hoping someone can help me. And so these are some of the tools that they use to put on our. And guess what? One of the brothers can get the precept and say he shall put a yoke of iron on your neck, man. Right? Taxation. Matter of fact, I'll get it. A yoke of iron. That's one of the curses, man. Man, you Edomites gonna pay. You're gonna pay. And I'm gonna get into the crux of it. I was just reading through that. I hadn't read it before, so I was just reading through it. But this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, and these Edomites are definitely our enemies, as well as all the other nations, which Yahweh Bashemel shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And this is the example of that, right? That image that you see right here, this is that yoke of iron, right? And it was for the runners, right? If you were a runner, they put that on your neck. Look at this shit. Look at this guy, another Carte de Visit Wilson. It says, I'm just now seeing this thread for the first time. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you had the brother right here. And then you got the Whoop Peter. This is called Whoop Peter. And this is what Esau is trying to take out of those museums. They're trying to take it off of monuments across America, right? Because this is shameful spewing on their legacy, on the American legacy. Because the people that grow up today think that America was just established on patriotism and white supremacy, which it was set on white supremacy. But that white supremacy came with a lot of bloodshed, right? This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. That bloody city is America. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of the whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and the jumping chariots. That's right. This place, going back to verse 1, is full of lies and robbery, man. Right? They lie about the so-called American experience. Don't you know they had that coon, what's his name, Ben Carson, a couple years ago during Trump's first administration. This nigga said we came over here as immigrants. We the only immigrants that had to come over here in shackles and chains. Nobody else. And then look, they put these images on clothing. This fucking dead looking Edomite right here, like a corpse. Right? They put this image of a Israelite woman, right, with this device to keep her from speaking, and then she also had a iron collar on her neck, right? And then they put this stuff on clothing, right? Because our experience here in America is something that made it a commodity for Esau. Shit, we were a commodity. She looks scary as shit. You see? Look, and all our people had to go through this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This ain't no made up thing. This really happened. Are you trying to tell me that you Edomites not going to pay? This is just a one-off. Absolutely fucking not. Look at this shit. Artifacts of restraint. Artifacts of restraints. And enslaved African women. And it wasn't just women that were getting hell. It was the men too. The men and the children, and the men, women, and children. And the 18th century transatlantic slave trade. It says this chapter examines the primary source of historical narratives and archaeological material culture of black enslaved females during the Middle Passage. Tangible artifacts commonly found on board slaving vessels are observed through a gendered lens as an expression of forced female objectification. Well, it wasn't just forced female objectification either. It was forced male objectification, oppression, and exploitation. By examining the material culture and slave artifacts assemblages, the transformation of female gender identity across the Middle Passage will further understood. Yeah, so they ain't saying too much about that. But yeah, that's what they did to our people, man. And these kind of it was a punishment being cramped into these fucking vessels too, right? They crammed as many, and then you got niggas, you got niggas on social media talking about slavery didn't happen. I even had a so-called family member in the world call me and tell me that we was always here. We indigenous to the land. Slavery didn't happen because ain't no slave ships. Nigga, shut up, man. Slavery happened, nigga. That shit was real. And in fact, we're still in slavery. And these are Israelite bodies right here. These are Israelite bodies. The Lord said he was going to send us to a place rolling like a ball over water, man. We were packed into these fucking ships like sardines, man. Worse than sardines, bro. Which I got a video where Jake goes into explaining how they packed Jake on these ships, man. And it wasn't for comfort. It wasn't for fucking comfort. Imagine as rough as these seas are, and you on the bottom of a fucking boat, leaking. You got rats, roaches, death, right? Women having their menstrual cycles, because none of that shit stopped. It just kept it, and then you down there in these filthy vessels, man. I got a book that says they could smell Jake coming 5 miles away, and you got niggas out here testing the mic. You got niggas out here testing the fucking yoke, man. Why is Edomite ain't put it on his fucking neck, man? The American history. Why the Edomite ain't put it on his neck? You got Jake putting that shit on his neck, bro. Salaki. Story of a slave in Western plantation. Esau whipping that back. Man, we're gonna fuck you Edomites up. You have the slightest understanding about what's about to come to you, man. Just bear with me, brothers. I'm looking for I got this video. It popped up. You know, Jake, you got the weak Jake. Hold on, let me share this video. Just bear with me, brother. I'm gonna share this video. This is fucking crazy because these Edomites, they sit and they go to these things like, oh, this is something to watch. This is very interesting. Let me go into it. Let me look into this. You know, Jake don't give a fuck about the history, bro. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk. You niggas need death, bro. Anyway, just bear with me, bro. Let me share the screen. Share the demonstration of the slave collar. The demonstration of the slave collar. That's what this is. I'm gonna skip all the talking that this dude's doing, and I'm gonna go right here.
My volunteers.
Why did Jake got to volunteer? You watch. You notice that no Edomite got up to volunteer. No Edomite got up to volunteer to put that.
I'm going to demonstrate the thing. Could I get my volunteers?
Look at this.
Now, this is a replica of a slave collar. And after I do my demonstration, I'll pass it around. We'll do show and tell.
Somebody give a fuck. Some people don't.
Now, what I want you to do is I want you to stand right here. You, sir, can stand right here. You stand where you are. I use a simple nut and bolt to keep this closed.
And mind you, remember, it was rusty too. So if you had any sores or open cuts on your neck, now you're going to get infection.
Gentlemen, you're going to reach down and pick it up. And you're going to open it up. That's right. You, sir, are going to put your finger over your Adam's apple. We hope your neck is not too thick for this. And we hope we don't clip you. Okay, hold on one second.
That shit on his, why you put it on Esau's neck, bro? You gonna put it on Jake's neck, man? That's horrific. It looked so painful. It was. damn, that really puts a real view on how our ancestors were treated. May they all rest in peace. You ain't gotta say that because they back. All them Jakes is back.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay, sir.
Okay, close it. Is it pinching you?
Not yet. Sir.
Good. Remove your finger. And I want you to put your hands on both of these bars that are extending in front of you. I will just get this on so it doesn't fall off.
I ain't doing that shit.
To date, this has never gotten stuck on anyone, so we will hope.
Y'all laughing. Look at the Edomites laughing.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the rest of
Why didn't he put it on the Edomite net? That's what I wanted to know. Why didn't he do that? Why it had to be on Jake net and then put that shit on C-SPAN? Absolutely not, man. We're gonna fuck you Edomites up. It's gonna be a righteous ass whipping. It ain't gonna be that filthy shit y'all did to us. But you best believe it ain't gonna be no walking apart at all. Not for you Edomites, man. Because you're gonna be born with this shit on your neck. It ain't coming off. It ain't coming off. And you can run all you want. You ain't going there. You ain't going nowhere because the whole earth is gonna be your fucking prison. The whole earth is gonna be your fucking prison, man. I'm angry, but Apostle Gabar is right, bro. He said this shit'll make you mad, but it do. It fucking do, bro. Anyway, let me share the other video. Since we started with the video, let me share this video. This shit don't make no fucking sense, bro. You motherfucking devils, man. And then you got Jake. They grow up so disconnected from their past, right? And from our experience here in America. Because even in spite of our experience in America, Jake made strides here. But it don't matter. You still got to pay for that shit. And nobody has paid for what they've done to our people. None of these nations, bro. They still spending slave money.
Take them sticks and bring them into America for $17 and put them in the black and Puerto Rican neighborhood for $200 and $300. Your money. You see? You have to know what it's all about. That's what you're here for. If we can't get money out of you because you are not educated, we're going to put you in jail because we will make the money. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the convict leasing system. That's exactly what prison is. It's nothing more than a convict leasing system.
You have to learn. You got power. Knowledge is power. Is that right? Yeah. Is knowledge power? Yes. Education.
Knowledge is applied power, man. You need understanding, man. The scripture says wisdom is the principal thing, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
Education is the key. Is that right? Yes. Knowledge is power. Is that right? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. And you got plenty of it. Remember that. You're the best of the best. You know that? I'm the best.
The best of the worst.
So what they do is this. They take this, which is the branding iron. This branding iron is heated white hot.
And this is what Apostle Gabar, he went into. This was a part of our punishment to get them branded. And then, when we was in college, some of us that went to university and joined these fucking organizations, we end up getting this shit thinking it was a style to do. But in reality, this shit goes back to branding and ownership.
Red hot for an animal, but white hot for you. Can you understand that? We will take and put you on your knees. We put you on your knees. We will put our foot in the back of the calf of your leg and step on it and hold you down and bend you back and take this and touch it on to your chest. It'll burn the dermis, the epidermis into the muscle. It'll cauterize everything and fuse it. There's no bleeding. After that, what we do then, we take palm oil, sulfur, and salt. We rub it in the wound. Rub it in the wound. We put you in a jail. We put you in that jail. We have you packed in. It takes 20 people. We put 25, 30, 40 people in the same place. It's called whatever it is. It's a jail. It's a barracoon. Okay?
Yeah, barracoon.
When they put you in there,
you just said it. It's a Portuguese word for jail. So they had Jake packed in these fucking jail cells, bro. After getting branded. Come on, bro. And you got these nations talking about, oh, slavery happened. All nations had slavery. It's just something that happened 400 years ago. It's easy to be detached from something that happened less than 150 years ago, right? And we're about to go into the 250th year of America's existence in July, right? The whole 250 years they celebrating as a nation. It wasn't a nation for us, man. We was the mechanism behind all of this that you have. All that free labor, hours and days and months hours, days, weeks, and months, and years, decades, man. Decades of free fucking labor. And then the devil is spit in your face and say you're lazy. I live in Hawaii, man. We ain't do shit to these fucking jet fights, man. But these motherfuckers will call you a nigger. They'll say, get out of here. This place don't belong to you. Right? They'll put letters on your fucking your car and with racial epithets on that motherfucker, bro. That's why when we get our hands on you nations, bro, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be fucking dark, bro. Right? Don't get it twisted. Just because we ain't gonna be doing no wicked shit like Esau did, like a derby dose. Don't think that it's gonna be a fucking walk in the park. All you nations are gonna get bent. You're gonna get broken, bruh. And we're gonna have the power to bring you back to life. Esau ain't had that kind of power. Esau didn't have the power to put you to death and bring you back to life and do it all over again. He had to wait for the reincarnation to happen naturally. But we won't have that power. We gonna fuck you nations up, bro. None of you nations deserve anything but a foot up your fucking ass, bro. Fuck out of here, man.
That has a covering on it then. In 72 hours, you're still pressed in. We're feeding you, but throwing water on you and also feeding you. When we throw water on you, it keeps you cool, but nonetheless, you cannot sit down. You're standing there pressed in until the ships come and we can get you out.
Yeah, so you standing up for days, bro. In a fucking packed, dark, dank cell. No breathing, nothing.
I'm sorry. This is a tether. The tether you tie something up with. This is also a leash. What do you use a leash for?
A dog.
What do you use a leash for?
A dog.
Well, we were less than a dog.
Take this and you put it on this post. This post is 6 feet tall. You put it on this post and you put this around your ankle. And we bend it to conform together and push the lock down so it doesn't come out. You're now tethered there like a dog. No clothes on.
Naked.
We have 25 of you lined up like that. You're tethered there like a dog. This is why I have a problem with the young brothers calling each other's dogs in the N-word. I got a problem with that. That's what this is. They will walk you 50 miles with this on. 50 miles. Then we put you on the slave ships. Slave ships are waiting for you, so here we are. When we get you onto that slave ship, we have a priest there. That priest will sprinkle holy water on you so you cannot bring evil spirits aboard that slave ship.
What? You see that shit? You see the witchcraft? A priest was so-called sprinkle holy water on you so you didn't bring evil spirits on the fucking, these fucking, what you call them, people that believe, it's a word for these people, superstitious. You wouldn't bring evil spirits on a fucking boat. Nigga, you got me in captivity. Nigga, you are the evil spirit, man.
Can you understand that? That's an oxymoron, right? Okay. Now, the next thing we do is what? We cannot, the ship only holds 450. It's called the Brooks out of Liverpool in the 1700s. Now you have a problem. We have 650 people to put on a ship, holds 450 people. How are we going to handle that? On most of the ships, they have them laying down. Remember that? You see them laying down, but see, they have another problem. Because they're only laying down in a 14-foot space on their backs, on their fronts. So therefore, they can't turn. If they can't turn, they will get pneumonia, the respiratory system will collapse, and they will die. So then we're losing power. How are we going to handle that? This is what we do. We'll do this. We'll do this. We're going to build decks. Can I steal you for a little bit? Come on, don't be afraid. I'm going to let you go, okay? Yeah, sit right here real quick. Real quick. Put you up there. Good, come on. All right, oh, by the way, this is George right here. This is George, so you know, now you're not afraid. This is George, he's been here for a while. If you want to talk to him, you can. He's not going to tell me what you said. All right? He wakes up at night. No, sorry. Okay, now, this is how we have him. Can you put your feet up in this chair? Up here. Put the other one up. Now, you see how he is?
Look at that shit.
We're going to put him on a slave ship like this. The bottom row, we have 4 abreast. We have 4 people sitting just like this. And 25 forward. That's 100 people in a space 37 inches high,
Woo.
4.5 feet wide.
Woo.
Okay. The next deck, we're gonna put the deck up here, do the same thing. 100, 100. That means on this side of the ship we got 300. On the other side we got 300. We got 600 people on the ship. It only holds 450. In the bow of the ship we have women and small children. Yes, quickly.
What if they tall?
Stand up. I can't hear you.
What if they tall?
Say it again.
What if they're tall?
What if they're what?
Tall.
They're stuck in that place.
Yep.
Just being tall.
They
Okay.
don't give a fuck. They ain't give a fuck, bro. They bitch you up like a pretzel, bro. And so that's why I have a big problem with people who say that slavery didn't happen or that our experience wasn't real. Right? Let me go back to this. You see this shit, bro? Y'all gotta see this shit, man. And this is stuff you should watch. Not even just these slave movies, because a lot of times they romanticize our experience with these so-called slave movies, man. Very few slave movies really show the grit and the filthiness and the nastiness we had to endure. And then for somebody decades later to tell you that it didn't happen or anybody could do it, nobody could go through what we went through as a nation, bro. We took on the full punishment of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? For our iniquities, man. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 12. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken." That's right, because it wasn't for us to drink of that cup of slavery and the wrath of the Lord continuously, but we drunk it. When you look at the situation with slavery, the appalling situation of how we even got over here, not even about the thing. They got one of you brothers look up the seasoning process in slavery. Type in what is the seasoning process, or what was the seasoning process during the slave trade. Seasoning, like seasoning on your food. When you put that definition up anyway, it says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste." And that's America. America is modern day Basra. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a reproach. It's going to be a desolation and a waste and a curse. And all the cities that's in this country is going to be perpetual waste forever for what they did to us. For what they did to us, man. They went far and beyond. It was worse than anything that these other nations have truly done. Which these other nations were brutal too. The Assyrians, them motherfuckers, they're brutal, bruh. People like Antiochus Epiphanes IV, that's why his bitch ass got put to death the way he got put to death. The Lord killed that nigga from the inside. He was the real karate man. He bled on the inside, right? Inside joke. Anyway, Daniel chapter 9, verse 12. Daniel 9 and 12. Right? It says, "And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as it has been done upon Jerusalem." And Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, man. So all this brutality that we have to incur here under our enemies, man. This ain't happened to no other nation, man. No other nation on this planet Earth went through what we went through as a nation, and not just the tribe of Judah either. From Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Issachar, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Zebulun, Shemayawan, Simeon, Levi, right? Gad. We call it hell, bruh. We call it holy fucking hell, bruh. And that's why I was going to open up with this, but I'm glad that it is where it is in the video. Zechariah 1 and 15. "I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction," man. And when you watch and read some of these things that I'm reading and bringing out, it's all that was the forward our affliction. They didn't deep understand this. These nations, even though they were the sword of the Lord, especially Edom, being the sword of the Lord, they didn't do what they did because, they knew that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai set them up as a sword. No, he just gave them the power to overcome us because as the scripture says in the book of Judah, that whenever we left the Most High, that we will lose battles, battles, we will be oppressed, and we will be taken over by our enemies. So our enemies, they use that as an opportunity to do whatever they wanted to us, man, whatever they felt like, right? So they went far above and beyond, man. And even now, our people got all this hate from you nations. We ain't do shit. Here it is. Esau took Hawaii, bro. Going back there because I live here. Esau took this fucking place through politics, through companies and corporations. And they don't even give Esau the hell that they give us, man. Every once in a while, you might hear them say, howly this and howly that. But these motherfucking nations be sucking Esau dick, man. They love Esau, man. They emulate him. They imitate him. Right? They don't give him half the grief and the hell they give us, man. Just for existing. Can you imagine some fucking slopehead Japhite calling you a nigga to your face, bruh? It happened to me. I ain't gotta imagine it. A nigga. He nigga called me a nigga. And I try to be humble about it and deal with the nigga, and he still was trying to flex up. And that's why I'm saying, like, you nations don't understand the anger that we got within this, bro. I could kill somebody, bro. I really could. A couple of people. That's how angry I am every day. Like the Hulk said, I'm angry all the time. You can never not be angry here, bro. For the shit that they've done to us, bro. And then it's like they get a fucking pass, bro. But you ain't getting no pass. The Lord gonna get your ass. And that rhymes. And it's Zechariah 1:15. But I'm very in the AMP. But I'm very angry with the nations who are at ease and feel secure. That's right. That's these nations. They at ease and they feel secure, especially when they're around their own kind. For while I was only a little angry, they furthered the disaster against the people of Israel, showing you that Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Right? These people, they forward our affliction, bruh. Especially Esau, Edom, man. Especially Esau, Edom. Let me get that seasoning. One of the bros posted it up. Seasoning. Right? This is from Ban Yasha'Allah 144. The slave trade used the term seasoning to refer to the process of adjusting the enslaved Israelite to the new climate, diet, geography, and ecology of the Americas. Right? It says, hold on, let me get this one. GMS Salvation of the Elect. The seasoning was the brutal and often fatal process of physical and psychological conditioning. So this is what we had to endure. Because they were erasing our identity while they were doing this. It was like reprogramming somebody. Like, remember on Roots, they were like, your name ain't Kuta, it's Toby. And he beat him a couple times until he said his name was Toby. It says seasoning was the brutal and often fatal process of physical and psychological conditioning that enslaved Israelites were forced to undergo upon arrival in Americas. The goal was to break identities and culture. So you ain't no Israelite no more. You don't call on that name Yahweh Shai no more. That culture that you had, you're going to eat pork. You're going to eat pram. You're going to eat whatever the fuck we give you. That's what they said. You can spit, pissing. They give you water on them fucking on them ships. It wasn't clean. It was spit and piss and urine and feces and semen. All kinds of shit was in it. Blood. Who knows? Flies. Identities and culture and acclimate them to a life of forced labor and servitude on plantations. Slave traders use the term seasoning to refer to the process of adjusting an enslaved Israelite to a new climate, diet, geography, and the Americas, man. Yeah, you motherfuckers gonna get it. Ooh, you gonna get it. Isaiah 34:8 in the NLT. For it is the day of Yahweh Bashim Shai's revenge, the year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. You see? So Yahweh Shai got it out for you, you devils, man. And this is why you don't want to be associated with being an Edomite. This is why you don't want to be called by your biblical nationality, Edom. Because you know that payback is coming. It's going to happen. This could be the year. But it's definitely, we there. And you ain't going out like a man that knows that, you know, I did wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't. Even though it don't matter. You're going to go out like a rebellious kid. You're going to fight. You're going to fight. right? You're going to fight to uphold your supremacy. You're going to fight to uphold your hegemony. You're going to fight to uphold your place in the earth, man. Right? That's why y'all going back to that Gestapo life, man. Right? Y'all got these white supremacists, these weak ass Edomites ganging up, put a gun in their hand and a badge in their pocket, and now they ICE agents. Now they're gonna be militias and the National Guard soldiers and army troops, right? But that ain't enough, man. Because the Lord gonna turn on that false of the judgment to you Edomites, man. Believe that. The day is near when I, Yahweh, will judge all nations. Ooh, Obadiah 1:15. Listen to this. The day is near when I, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, will judge all nations, man. Big nations, small nations, all nations, man. Edom, what you have done will be done to you. Double. It's going to be done to him double. You will get back what you have given. Obadiah 1:15. Man, and this is why they don't want to go into the precepts. They want to do away with the Bible, man. Okay? Because of what you did to us. Real quick, this is the book of Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So we're going to be happy to reward you the way you did us. Right? O Babylon, you will be destroyed. Happy is the one who pays you back for what you have done to us. Right? Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones, man. So your kids gonna be gassed and punch stone, man. Against rocks, man. Them big head Edomite, red big head, bald, red head Edomite. Because that's how the Edomite child look when it comes. Don't matter if it's a boy or a girl. They're always born bald headed and red. Them big swollen ass red heads. We're gonna bust them shits on rocks, man. Straight up, man. Brains everywhere. In broad daylight. Thy heart shall meditate terror, man. And this is what you don't want to hear. But we gotta witness the brutality that you've done to us, man. We gotta witness that every day. Every day. Jeremiah brothers is on fire right here. Lamentations 4:22 in the NLT. O beautiful Jerusalem, your punishment will end. You will soon return from exile. But Edom, your punishment is just beginning. Soon your many sins will be exposed. That's right. That's right. Right. Jeremiah 51:34-38. The violence done to me and to my flesh upon Babylon shall the inhabitants of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea shall Jerusalem say. Yeah, you gotta post the rest of that, brother. Anyway, I want to go to this right here. This is from the chat. And I asked a question. I said, can you give me a detailed list? I don't know why it says I'll be supposed to say list. A particular punishment slaves had to suffer in the Americas. Yes, I can lay this out clearly and soberly. This is historical documentation, not sensationalism. I'll organize it so you can see the system, the logic behind it, the specific punishment used across Americas, North Caribbean, and Latin America. And context is important. Enslavement in the Americas was not accidental cruelty. So here it is where these Edomites say, well, slavery just happened, right? You guys were just, you were dumb, you are savages, right? You weren't civilized. So you needed to be civilized. So this is the reason why all that happened. It was just a blip in time. 400 plus years. Nigga, it was 400 plus years of brutality. More than that. Shit, we've been here in the Americas long we was in ancient Egypt. Right? And every year was more brutal than the next, man. So how much more you Edomites when y'all get in slavery? 1,000 years, man. 1,000 of them Johns, man. It's gonna be documented what we do to you. We want somebody to jump up and say this was wrong. Go ahead. Go ahead and say it's wrong. Like my man Kang said, come on to my office. Let's talk. Enslavement in the Americas was not accidental cruelty. It was legal, economic, theological, and psychological. Punishments were designed to extract labor, break resistance, terrorize the community, destroy identity, prevent solidarity. And it's the reason why you have these same problems going on in any ghetto USA in America today, and worse in South America. Physical punishment, most common, whipping and flogging, carried out with rawhide whips, cat o' nine tail, or braided leather with metal, administered on bare skin, sometimes with salt, pepper, or vinegar rubbed into the wound afterward to make it even worse. Used for working too slow. So if you working too slow, they whipping your ass, your back, talking back. If you talking back, they whipping your back. Escaping. They damn near killed you for escaping. Learning to read. So you couldn't even read. They wanted to keep you in an illiterate state. Refusing what? Refusing sexual access. So if you refuse the slave man, master, or the slave mistress, the woman, sexual advances, they could beat you. Many laws cap whipping at 39 lashes, but owners routinely ignored this. So here it is. Where's that scripture? Because that go back to the scriptures. Like, I think you only be hit with like 40 lashes or something like that. But one of you brothers can post that precept. But this is let favor be shown to the wicked. Yep. This is Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In a land of uprightness, he will deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh Shema Shah. So this devil knew the scriptures. They tried to apply it early on in America's beginning, even though they were doing witchcraft, right? But they try to use the scriptures as a guiding tool for how slavery is supposed to run. But did they take advantage? I mean, did they follow that law? No, they took advantage of it, and they routinely ignored it. Branding, hot irons used to mark initials of owners. So, and that's why they want to get that chip in you, because your owners is the banking elite families. They ain't gonna have no chip. They ain't got to worry about checking in with nobody. They ain't gonna be isolated to one area in the world, and that's it. They ain't gonna be isolated to no 15-minute city. Their food's not gonna be rationing to them, right? And we don't belong to you, Edomites. We belong to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We are his people. He is our God. The hell out of here, man. Hot irons used to mark initials of owners, plantation symbols, location, shoulder, chest, face, especially in the Caribbean. Purpose, permanent ownership, dehumanization, escape prevention, mutilation used especially for repeat resistance, cutting off fingers, toes, ears, castration, documented but less common, teeth removal to prevent biting or hunger strikes. Teeth removal, bruh. This is how you got your modern day dental industry off the ground. Just like you got the medical field off the ground, off the backs of our people. And we're going to fuck y'all up, man. Just know that this is going to be child's play compared to what you nations about to receive, man. Beatings to death. Enslaved people were legally considered property. So you got property, you just want to destroy it. Owners often escape punishment by claiming discipline. Deaths were common and rarely prosecuted. So they murdered us. And nobody went to jail for that shit. All you gotta do is look at 100 years of lynching. What's the other without sanctuary? You see? Where's the outcry for this? But it happened so long ago, we don't need to mention that. But you got Lindsey Graham talking about we don't need to address reparations because we already dealt with our original sin. And that's a made up thing, original sin. Nigga, you are the man of sin. You're the original sinner. You started it off, nigga. Damn devil. Restraints and torture devices. Shackles, chains, and iron collars. Heavy iron collars with spikes prevented rest or escape. Chains worn during work at night. Sometimes attached to logs or weights. Stocks and pillories. Immobilized hands, feet, or neck. public punishment meant to shame, deed of rebellion. So they did it to make everybody else scared. Victims left exposed for hours or days to the elements, stress positions, hanging by the wrist, forced squatting for long periods, arms tied behind back while suspended. Ooh wee! Actually saw that image of that, a slave tied, hands tied, hands back, suspended in air. I actually saw that. It was an image on online some time ago. See, now Esau the freak, he into that shit, that sexual shit, right? Transatlantic slave trade. Right? Yeah, right here. Look at this shit. These are those images, bruh. These are well-known images. And they did this to push the abolition of slavery, to show the evils of slavery. Look at this shit. Making Jake dance and shit. Oh, see how happy they are. Look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Black in a white man's world. In a white world. We're going to fuck y'all up. Oh, I can't wait to get loose, man. Anyway, let's keep on reading. Psychological and social terror. Public executions, hangings, burnings. They burnt Jake alive. Dismemberments. Heads placed on poles at plantation entrances. Especially common after slave revolt. Suspected conspiracy. Family separation. These are part of the curses. Children sold away. Spouses split. Parents never allowed to intervene. Ooh, when did the so-called Jew go through this? When did any of these other nations go through this, man? Right? Longing. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. So it was no power. We had no power to stop it. You see, you will watch as your sons and daughters, in the NLT, you will watch as your sons and daughters are taken away as slaves. Taken away as slaves, your hearts will break for them, but you won't be able to help them. You see? So Jake, your children were sold, and you couldn't do nothing about it. Everybody get all excited about January 1st, so-called New Year's Day. But New Year's Day wasn't a good day for slaves, man. Right? New Year's Day for slaves in America. Right? It said, for enslaved people in America, New Year's Day is widely known as hiring day or heartbreak day. But now, Jake, you getting drunk. You have, oh, this is my year. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna work out this year. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna do all this shit. But this was a terrible day for our people, man. A time of profound anxiety or dread. It was a day when enslavers settled debts, often hiring out, selling, or transferring enslaved individuals, which resulted in brutal separation of families. For white slave owners, January 1st marked the start of a new business year when debts were collected and settled. To meet financial obligations, they would frequently lease out enslaved people to other plantations, businesses, or individuals for a year or longer. Family separation, enslaved people spent New Year's Eve in fear, wondering if they or their loved ones would be torn away with little to no warning. The pain of these separations was immense, with accounts describing mothers watching all their children sold away at once. Spouses split. Parents never allowed to intervene. This is one of the most devastating punishments and initially used to crush resistance. Sexual violence, systemic. Enslaved women, raped by owners, overseers, or guests. Forced breeding. Enslaved men, raped, humiliated publicly. Victims had no legal protection. This is appalling. Hey, Shalom, hey, Kahan, if you want to get on, brother, I'll shoot you the link, brother, if you're available. I see Kahan, brother Kahan. Hey, brother, if you're available, brother, you want to jump on? You can get on. You can get on this too. You can get on this too, brother. If you want, I'll post a link. I had posted that earlier. If you're available, it's if you're available, bro. Yeah, that Derby Dose, man. I actually got that book about Thomas Thistlewood. I was looking for it prior to starting the lesson, but I couldn't find it. Yeah, fucking Derby Dose, man. You Edomites gonna get the Derby Dose. Man, you disgusting, bro. You fucking you like it. He's a nasty man. He likes to eat shit. He buys women's farts online on OnlyFans. He buys women's panties, used panties on OnlyFans. Right? He likes getting pissed on and shitted on. He'll like that shit. So you can't even give him the Derby Dose. Fucker. Nasty motherfucker. Victims had no legal protection. Deprivation and neglect, starvation, food withheld as punishments, reduced rations for poor behavior, some forced to eat spoiled food. We shall eat poison and live. The children of Israel shall eat their food defiled amongst the heathen. Defiled amongst the heathen. Sleep deprivation, forced night labor, guard duty, punishment time to interrupt rest cycles. You Edomites ain't gonna know what a good night's sleep is. You ain't gonna know what that is. Those days are gonna be gone. That's why the scripture said, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Rejoice and be glad. Because, man, all these creature comforts that you got in this society today, you're not gonna have them tomorrow. You're not gonna have them tomorrow. You ain't gonna have them tomorrow. You're gonna be done away with. And all you see the pictures of the Edomites sleeping good on their Posturepedic beds with their arms stretched out like, oh, this is awful Negro. Nah, nigga, it's gonna be real. Exposure, forced nakedness. Listen to this. Exposure, forced nakedness in winter, standing in rain or heat for hours, no medical care for injuries, man. And then you want us to feel sorry for these devils, man. You want my heart to pour out for you? Fuck you, man. Legalized extreme punishment varied by region. Caribbean and Latin America often harsher. Burning alive, breaking on the will, burying alive, documented in French colonies, drowning in sacks. That's abuse, bro. United States execution usually by hanging. Torture still common but often unofficial. Laws pretended restraint. Practice ignored it. Punishment for learning and faith. Learning to read, fingers cut, eyes damaged, severe whipping. African spiritual practices, drumming, banned, gatherings punished, traditional healers executed and maimed. Why this matters? This was not a few bad masters. It was codified in law, justified by churches. That white supremacy that you go to every Sunday, they justify that. Enforced by courts, profitable to banks, insurers, and governments. The violence created generational trauma by design. Yeah. And you got to understand something, bro. You should never feel sorry for seeing an Edomite go catch hell, bro. Right? Hold on. The brother said he going to chime in. Hold on. Let me get Kahan on. Hold on, bro. I got you, man. Shoot. Give me a quick second. I'm trying to get you on, brother. I'm sending you the link right now. Six p.m. in 9. I just sent you the link, brother. You can jump in if you want. That's to the brother Kahan. If you want to jump in, I just sent you the link on WhatsApp, bro. If you want to come in and say something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It's just the shit don't make no sense, bro. It's enough to make you mad, man. I got this book here called I have this book. I have this book here called I have this book right here. Brothers can see it. I know I got the background on. Right. It's called The Slave Trade by Hugh Thomas. Right? Called The Slave Trade by Hugh Thomas. Okay. And it says right here in the first beginning, what heart could be so hard? What heart could be so hard as not to be pierced by pietous feelings to see that company? Zora Chronicles of Discovery and Conquest in Guinea. It says, very early in the morning, because the heat, a few Portuguese seamen on the decks of a half dozen 100-ton caravels, the new sailing ships, were preparing August 1444 to land their African cargo near Lagos. Yeah, because the Portuguese had Jake slavery for 400 years prior to the Europeans getting involved. Right? It says near Lagos, the southwest point of Algarve in Portugal. This cargo consisted of 235 slaves. On arriving on the mainland, these people were placed in a field. They seemed, as contemporary put it, a marvelous sight, for amongst them were some white enough, fair enough, and well proportioned. Others were less white, like mulattoes. Others again were as black as Ethiops, and so ugly. Yeah, you Edomites got the nerve to call somebody ugly. You the most ugliest motherfuckers on the planet Earth, man. And to that brother Kahan, I sent you the link, bro. You can get in if you want to. The images of lower hemisphere. It says right here, it says, what heart could be so hard? This contemporary chronicler Gomez, a curator attached to the brother of the King of Portugal, the inventive Prince Henry, asked himself, hey, shalom, brother. How about you? I'm shy about you.
Hey, shalom, how about you?
Yeah, brother. Yeah, we're going in about the appalling punishments that Esau put on our people, bro. I'm just reading a little excerpt from this book called The Slave Trade by Hugh Thomas. The story of Atlantic slave trade from 1440 and 144 to 1870. So it says, back in this book on page 1, it says, as not to be pierced with pietous feelings to see the company, for some kept their heads low and their faces bathed in tears, and looking one upon another, others stood groaning very dolorously, looking up to the height of heaven, fixing their eyes upon it, crying. So these are people crying to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, man, crying loudly as if asking help from the Father of nature, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Others struck their face with the palms of their Others struck their face with the palms of their hands, throwing themselves at full length upon the ground, while others made lamentations in the manner of a dirge after customs of their country. But to increase their suffering still more, the writer continued, there now arrived those who had charge of the division of the captives. And it says, and then was it needful to part fathers from sons, husbands from wives, brothers from brothers? No respect was shown. Don't that say it in the scripture? So scripture, he didn't respect the old or young. It said it.
Yeah.
That shit ain't happened to them small hats. Hitler ain't do that shit to them motherfuckers, bro. Yeah, it happened to us. No respect was shown to either friend or relations, but each fell where the lot took them. The arrival of the collections of Israelites was a novelty which many came to observe. Among the Prince Henry, the chronicler Zora hero, he watched impassive from his horse and himself received 46 of those slaves present as the royal fifth. So we were given as gifts. He gave thanks that he was saving so many new souls for God. Yeah, right. What God you talking about? Damn, bro. This shit
Yeah,
don't
and
make
it's crazy. It's crazy how now Esau wants to erase those things uh, from history, man. They want to just put it in the back burner like it never happened, or like if it was just a light thing that they did unto our people, man. But all Esau's gonna have to pay for all that stuff, man. No matter how much they try to hide it, or change the story. I don't know if you got the chance to see. I had sent you I think it was an Instagram post where you had this Edomite that he became viral for doing like a documentary of what is a woman or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Matt
now
something. Matthew something.
yeah, now he's coming out with something that, from what it looked like from the trailer or the introduction of the new documentary, from what it looks like, it's pretty much him debunking that slavery happened and what Esau did to our people was in reality wasn't that bad as people making it seem now.
But
And it's like
we just read Slocky, but we just read all that shit that they was doing. That's just what we know.
exactly. But yeah, and now they're trying to hide it, man. You see?
It says right here in this book, the chronicler of Zorah probably thought that the captives owed their fate to the sins of their supposed ancestors Ham, cursed by his father. But that's bullshit, because we ain't Hamites. It says, no, cursed by their father Noah, after seeing him naked and drunk. It was both a Christian and a Muslim tradition to suppose that the descendants of Ham have been turned black. Zorah, where the fuck did you get that from? That's nowhere in the scriptures. The curse of Ham was that they're going to be servants and that their land was going to be taken. The fuck? Yeah, this is crazy. Influenced by the work, Zorah may also have been influenced by the work of 2 centuries before of Edigo Colonia, who had written that if people did not have laws and if they did not live peacefully under government, they were more beast than human, therefore could legally be enslaved. No doubt, Zorah would have considered that the Israelites brought back to Portugal in 1444, whatever their origin were just such people. Man, bro, they did us dirty, brother. They did us dirty, man.
It's like that scripture that says, it has not been done to, as it has been done to Jerusalem, roughly paraphrased.
Yeah, I just had it up there, but I'll bring it back out. Daniel 9.
Okay, kind.
Yeah, Daniel 9. So this,
But yeah,
Daniel,
like these nations always want to bring up, especially Esau, man, with that whole thing that happened in Germany. They want to make the world remember that shit forever. And these other nations also have, they have certain things that happen to them. But what happened to our people is always put to the side, like, oh yeah, whatever. Like nobody cares about that, right?
yeah.
And what happened to our people is the worst captivity that any nation has gone through, man. Like Esau completely destroyed our people, man. Like,
Yep.
people think that it was just like oh yeah, they just killed a few people, they took your land, just get over it. Like, no, man. These motherfuckers came to the Americas, nearly genocided the whole of the northern kingdom, and then they brought Judah, the southern kingdom, over here and had them in chattel slavery, like some shit that no other nation had ever went through, man.
Yep.
And they want us to forget what happened to our people. Like, he's just gonna pay dearly for that shit, man.
Yep. That's right, man. This is the book of Daniel 9 and 12 again. And he hath confirmed his word which he has spoken against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
That's right, man. And that we understand that we have to go through a punishment, but as the scriptures say, these nations, chiefly Esau, they helped forward our affliction, man, and they did it to an extent which surpassed what the Lord wanted us to go through, because they did it in wickedness, man. There's a righteous punishment like Esau and the heathens are gonna go through. It's gonna be harsh, but we're not gonna do no wickedness like Esau did unto our people, man. While you were reading before I got on, you were reading about how they raped the men. They separated the families. They raped the women,
Yep.
and then hey, Esau, he thinks he's gonna get away with all of this because no punishment has been, placed upon him as of yet. But there's a great punishment coming for these Edomites, man. And
Yep.
these are the same people, even if they weren't part of the class that owned hundreds of slaves, but even if they were just the slave catchers, even if they were just the taskmasters, like you help destroy our people, man. And
It don't even matter.
people,
It don't even matter if they have it don't even matter if they ain't have nothing to do with it. You're an Edomite. You're going down. It don't
that's
matter.
right.
It don't matter. You because it ain't just about one incident. The transatlantic slave trade was just one incident. The colonization of the Americas was just another incident. No, they're going down for everything. They're gonna suffer for millennia of wickedness that they put on us, man. Going all the way back from
That's right.
Cain and Abel, man. Going all the way back to the serpent in the garden. You're gonna get it from the least to the greatest. Just like the
right.
Lord punished Pharaoh and everybody in Egypt that wasn't an Israelite. Salakia.
No, you're right. Because even the least of the Edomites, even if you didn't partake in being a slave owner or whatever, you were there and you're benefiting in today's society from our destruction. You the same Edomites that are chanting, yeah, take out the immigrants or fuck the so-called Negroes. You the same people, man, that help keep forwarding our destruction.
That's right. Real quick, this is Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though
Right,
man. You got it. You got it, bro.
Salakia.
No, you got it, brother.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like I mentioned earlier, these Edomites have been winning for so long, and they've done so much wickedness towards our people that in their mind they're like, fuck, who's gonna do anything about it? Like, God ain't protecting these people, so fuck it. We're just gonna keep doing what we've been doing.
Yep.
Right? That's their mindset. But again, the Lord has a set time where Esau's rulership is gonna end, and once that rulership is over, man, it's downhill from there, man. You are never again going to have a peace, tranquility. You're never gonna enjoy nothing, not even your food, man. Because when your captivity starts, everything's just gonna be pain, man.
Yep. This is verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the heavenly Father, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High.
Yeah, man, and these Edomites, they think that 500 years of rulership is, to them is like, yeah, we've been winning. We're on a long streak, man. This is gonna just keep on going for us because ain't nothing happened to us. But in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, man, that's nothing. You think you've been ruling for a long time, but in reality, it's nothing. The days of the wicked, the proud, the arrogant, they're short, man.
Yep.
And when they're over it, it's gonna be a big fall. Like, they have that saying in the world: the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yep.
Esau, he's been bigging himself up for centuries, man. So when his fall comes, it's gonna be spectacular.
Yep. That's right. It says so yeah, so it ain't gonna be well. Going back to that precept, it said, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feared not before the Most High. And that's exactly what this is. What's 500 years to eternity is nothing, right? Like the brother had posted up right here, GMS salvation of the elect, Job 20 and 5. The triumphing of the wicked has has been short-lived in the NLT. The triumph of the wicked has been short-lived, and the joy of the godless has been only temporary. Man. See, Esau think that his rulership is going to be perpetual, but it's only temporary. It ain't perpetual, man. You're about to be phased out, and you going into prison, right? And it's gonna be the hardest prison that any nation has ever had to serve. It's gonna be the most difficult. It's gonna be the most trying. It's gonna be the most brutal ever. And you ain't gonna be alone. You're gonna have the other nations there with you too, right? And we're gonna make them get tribal. They're gonna get tribal, man. Ain't gonna be no mixing and mingling, just like the prison system is. Jakes go over here, crackers go over there. You know, it's just gonna be like that, bro. And these nations, they're gonna get with you in them pits, man. Right? Ain't gonna be no one bad Edomite that's buck up and get big and strong. Nah, nigga, you're gonna be the weakest in there. They're gonna be trying to impress us. And then we gonna fuck them up because we ain't give them permission to do it. So this is gonna be a double dose of the most, man. You know what I'm saying? Double dose of the most, man. What else I got? That's pretty much all I had, man. You know, I ain't really had much. I appreciate you tuning in, brother, and locking in, man. And yeah, man. You can close this out, brother.
Hey, with that, Akim, we hope that the lesson was edifying. Again, all praises, honor, and glory go to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Dash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone. To all you Akim out there pushing and defending the gospel for the four corners of the earth, as well as to the hopeful elect. Hey, shalom till next time.
Hey, shalom. Hold on, brother.